Dear audience, ladies and gentlemen around the world, see you again very happy right here in the Intelligent Asia 2020. This is day 2 of the exhibition date. Now we are here at about 12:30 Taiwan time. Well, 2020 is a very challenging year because in the first half, we encounter an outbreak of COVID-19. So a lot of conferences, exhibitions, they have been locked down or be postponed. But in Taiwan, we have the first priority to get the very wonderful achievement to block the outbreak. So the people in Taiwan still live normally and our economy is still booming right now. So right here in the Nangang Exhibition Hall, we run several giant exhibitions, not just online, but also on site. You can see the exhibition, we have many people, the buyer, the exhibitor, they're getting together to talk about things because we have a very good prevention of the outbreak of the COVID-19. But today, we are running the Intelligent Asia 2020, including a lot of different exhibitions. For example, the automation and some very wonderful contents. And then we never forget our wonderful company to introduce to you and their service, product, and even the solutions. So combining with the on-site visit, online visit, and the on-air exclusive interview is one of the characters of our exhibition. And now we have a very wonderful company next to me. We are going to introduce you is the TOYO Automation COP Company Limited. And right next to my side is the sales engineer, Matthew Borger, to greet you. So Matthew, would you like to say hi to our audience?
Yeah, hello everybody, and thank you for joining us today.
Okay, now thank you very much for joining us, Matthew. Well, this is the wonderful time we can learn more from the TOYO Automation. So to begin, would you like to say a few words, introduce the company profile for us?
Of course. TOYO Automation is the largest aluminum extrusion body linear actuator manufacturer in Greater China.
Okay, and how many years this company has founded?
Our company has over 10 years of history in the linear actuator market.
Okay, so today you're going to bring us a very great and the modified and advanced linear motor for here.
Yes.
So now you would like to say something accompanied by your presentation, right?
Of course, of course.
Okay,
no,
let's
today
go.
we're going to dive into the linear motor module series. So we're going to keep you updated with the latest progress and biggest updates for this year. But before I begin, I'd like to show you a video that highlights our series.
All right, that's great. Let's take a look at the video.
Okay, so what are linear motors? If this is a review, please bear with me. Linear motors take the traditional rotary motor and unfurl it. So they untie the ends, or splice it if you will, and then flatten it out or smooth it out. But not only does this unfurl the structure, but it also takes the rotational motion and moves this into a linear motion, or the torque, a rotational force, into a thrust, a linear force. Now below here on the very bottom of the screen, you can see our linear motor with a UVW type rotor. Now the permanent magnet stator arranges magnets in alternating polarity. So this gives a north-south pole configuration. And you may be asking, what are the benefits of a linear motor? Well, most linear actuators take a rotary motor that uses torque and then translates that into thrust. Linear motors avoid using a drive mechanism. We can directly place the load on top of the rotor to provide thrust and linear motion. Okay, so you probably were wondering, what do our linear motors look like? Well, they actually look very similar to our ETH series ball screw and ETB belt drive series. Now, you can see here that we have linear guideways along the stroke of the module. Then inside we have the stator, which has permanent magnets, and that alternating NS-NS arrangement. Then we can see on the very right here the solenoid and table. The table has the solenoid, and then it has a table on top that places the load. Now these red arrows indicate the direction of travel and also the direction of thrust. Okay, so we split our series, our linear motor series, into two types, iron core and then ironless coil. Now for our iron core series, the left two modules, the LGF and LGW series, have our built-in linear guideways. Now on the right is the second generation of our standard guideways series, the LTF2, which is an open body type, and LNF2, which is a closed body type, and then an LCF2, which is a clean room rated class 10 type linear motor. Now, what about the ironless coil? Well, the two series on the left is a U body type, the LAU, and then the LMR is a rod style for those rod style applications. Okay, so what is the difference between an iron core and an ironless coil linear motor, and when should I use them? Well, an iron core linear motor has an iron core inside the coil. Now, this interacts with the permanent magnets in the stator, and that actually gives sort of a cogging, a sort of start-stop. Now, this contributes to the speed variability, which can reach up to 5%. Also, the heavy weight slows down the response of the linear motor. So subsequently, the acceleration is slower than the ironless type. Now, but for the thrust, the iron core provides much higher magnetic flex density, which allows for higher thrust. Now, what about the cost? Well, it may seem like the rotor with the iron core would be a little more expensive, but the overall module uses fewer permanent magnets, which decreases the overall cost of the unit. Now, for our ironless coil type motors, we sort of have the opposite. So without an iron core, the rotor doesn't interact with the permanent magnet stator as much. This means that speed variability can be kept under 1%. Now, because the rotor is lighter and there's less interaction with the permanent magnet stator, this means that the acceleration and response is very fast, very quick. Also, lower flux density, also the coil that provides lower flux density because it's without the iron core provides lower thrust compared with the iron core type. Now for the cost, again, the rotor may seem to be cheaper because it doesn't have an iron core, but the overall unit is more expensive because it uses more permanent magnets. Okay, so this is really the prize of our linear motor series. This is the LGF15. And what's so special about it, you might ask? Well, this features 15% or 40% smaller body size with similarly thrust-rated linear motors models. Now, there's also some other special features. On the right here, we can see that there's a dust-proof cover strip, also an external grease fitting. This allows for easy maintenance. You don't have to take apart this module to lubricate the linear guideways. Also, one external port is sufficient to lubricate both guideways. Also, all of our linear motor modules come with a Renishaw optical encoder. The standard is a 1 micron optical encoder.
Would you mind I can hold this and can help our audience to see more clear?
Yes.
Okay.
So what's the point of a linear motor? This is a great question. Actually, what we like to do is to say, look, this provides the same outside and also the same functionality as our ball screw type and belt type linear actuators. Right. However, this linear motor has quite a bit of advantages over our traditional ball screw drive and belt driven models.
Okay. Okay, you feel good.
Yeah, no, it looks nice. I really like it.
What's the material of this body?
Okay, so for the linear motor bodies, we're going to come in with, we have their aluminum extrusion bodies. We also have an iron, and we also have a granite. if you're fortunate enough to come to one of our shows, we do actually feature our granite body type linear motor modules.
Okay. So probably one of the questions, how do you control this module? What type of encode does TOYO use for this linear motor module?
Okay, yeah, no, that's a great question. So the encoders, they come in two types. We provide TOYO's magnetic encoder, and then we provide Renishaw optical encoders. Now the Renishaw optical encoder, we can select a 1 micron, a 0.5 micron, and a 0.1 micron optical encoder.
Okay.
And also some of the big specs on this LGF15, the stroke reaches 2.5 meters, and it has a straightness of 0.02 of a millimeter, or 20 microns over the stroke, and features a repeatability of plus or minus 2 microns. So these are sort of our series-wide specifications. So the largest or longest stroke that we can feature is 6 meters. You can reach up speeds of up to 3 meters per second, or 3,000 millimeters per second. You have a repeatability of plus or minus 2 microns, maximum acceleration of 3G, and a maximum payload of 120 kilograms. Now, for our standard linear guideways, we use quiet, less than 57 decibel guideways, and they're low dust producing.
Yes.
Single and multiple rotor options. The rotors are only limited by the stroke length. So if you can fit the rotor on, we can provide multiple rotor options. Okay, again, with that LGF15, we do feature models that are significantly smaller than similarly thrust-rated models on the market. The external grease fitting, that's a patented design. Easy maintenance. And then, again, our linear motors are compatible with all major driver brands, including Mitsubishi, Servotronics, and more. Okay, so before I jump in, I'd like to share with you some of our applications. Some of our customers were actually gracious enough to actually allow us to take pictures and share with you today. Now, these are real applications that we've actually have done here in Taiwan.
Yes.
So the first one is an optical inspection machine. Now, this is a gantry style. So we have two x-axes, or two linear actuators on the x-axis. And then here, the gantry style has two linear motors on the y-axis. Now, these can move in sync, synchronously, or asynchronously. Okay. PCB handling. We do have applications in the semiconductor industry. Material handling. This actually has an exceptionally long stroke. Laser machining. Wafer storage, again, coming back to that semiconductor. This is sort of an XZ style, and we can see that the X is wall mounted. This actually is one of my favorites. This is a gantry style design, but the X and Y are sort of flipped from being here to being like this. So sort of a wall mounted design. Again, we customize the stages as well, so that's a granite stage on the bottom. And also solar panel manufacturing. Any more questions you would like to ask?
Well, I think it's okay, it's very good. But for the product and the company, so do you have any other plans? You are going to another territory for this product?
Yes, we actually are looking to expand in the US, Southeast Asia. We're trying to take our success here in Taiwan, Greater China, and Japan to the rest of the world.
Yeah, okay. Very good. So now, thank you very much for this wonderful talk about details about the product and also the specification characters. So before we conclude this interview, do you have anything to add?
Yes. Please go onto our company website. We actually have translated into many languages. You know, look at our products, and if you're interested, please contact us. We'll be sure to contact you as soon as possible.
Sure, okay. Now if you got time, we can go to your booth and see the demonstration over there. I think it's a very huge and very big one.
Yeah,
right?
sure, that'd be great.
Beautiful
Yeah.
booth.
That'd be, yeah,
Okay.
that'd be wonderful, thank you.
Okay, well, thank you very much for watching. This is the TOYO Multi Automation Company Limited, and very happy with Matthew Borger with us.
All right, thank you very much.
So our next introduction about the company will come up in a few minutes, so just stay tuned. We'll come back later very soon. Yes, thank you very much. See you.